This is the very first session in my series for the 7-day detox. In the coming days, I'm gonna go on live every day to introduce you to explain about this special detox 7-day challenge. You are all invited to join me to start fasting, eating nutritious food, and getting your energy back. Because that's what life is, right? We want to be energized to accomplish our dreams, to have the very best life possible. And that, my friend, is not easy in those days. In this society, in these times, we need a lot of energy because you know what's going on, right? So put in the chat right now, comment, be engaged. What do you want from your life? What would you really need to get your life in order? What would you need? Good health? Would you need better relationships? Do you need a better job? Do you need to get your finances in order? What does it take for you to get out of the rut if you're there, or to become healthy? Well, today's topic is health is wealth. Oftentimes we think we need to get rich, we think we need a better job, we think we need to get that guy, that girl, and then everything would be fine. But nevertheless, well, even though it's a lot more, there is a lot more to a healthy life than only love, than only that relationship, than only that house, than possessions. You must feel, if you're still on this video, if you just tuned in, that there's more to life, that there must be a better way to be energized. So I'm a fasting mentor these days, but I was trained as a political scientist. I studied about countries, history, about world politics, and I discovered that I did not want to work in that lane, that it's all about power. But there's a few that hold power. But are those people happy? When I was working in those jobs, I worked for governments and I saw that people were only busy with their status, with maintaining power. Because once you have it, people are afraid to lose it. And that, my friend, makes sure there's a lot of fear inside. A lot of us battle fear. There are different forms of fear. A light form is insecurity. There's many derivatives of that one emotion. And a lot of people are unconsciously afraid of poverty, afraid of losing their job, losing relationships. And in the end, we let the fear be our motivator. In the end, for a lot of people, fear is driving the car, is behind the wheel. So English is not my first language, and that's why I tend to think a little bit longer before I find some words. So bear with me. Today, thank you for tuning in again. We're going to talk about what is that health and how can a healthy life be wealth? Why is that wealth? Well, my friend, I also grew up on a farm, and recently I got to understand that nature is the main source of nutrition. Yes, nature is nutrition. And as I've been fasting for the last 7 years, I discovered that outdoors, where there is fresh air flowing, that outdoors there is that purity, that power, and the complete scale of nutrients that an adult body needs to thrive. Yes, to thrive. And especially on those fasting days, we need the flowing air. And not only the air of oxygen, but there are minerals in air. There are extra minerals when we walk in sea air. And then again, our body gets moving, our vascular system gets improved, also oxygen flows, but our cells, they get a kick off. They get kicked by outdoor air, by nature on its own, by spending more than 1 hour a day in nature. For instance, walking on the beach barefoot is very nutritious. Being surrounded by trees lowers your stress levels. It improves your eyesight to look at the green color of leaves. So there are a multitude of benefits when you spend a lot of time in nature. And why would we spend a lot of time in nature? Well, my friend, it is where our body gets back to its natural state. So the body is nature. But for many of us, we forgot to really connect to nature. You're doing a great job if you're working out for 30 minutes a day, if you do your daily walks. But to really let the body thrive and get to the best state of your health, you could spend like several hours a day outside and reconnect to nature. And that's what I did on my healing journey. And that's how I became to practice fasting. That's how I got trained as a faster. And that's what I want to teach you here. I want to teach you to really upgrade your lifestyle to get back to purity. And that ultimately will give your body so much power. You will become so energized that you can tackle those little problems that you're facing right now, that you can be upbeat 12, 16 hours a day, that you can be joyous all the time. That's what happens after fasting. We get so much new energy in our bodies that we get to experience a lot more joy. You will become a lot more happier, and you can tap into that energy if you practice that over and over again. Why? Because that joy that you will be cultivating, it will become your second nature. It will become your new default. And once you get that happy person, it's easy for you to raise your kids, to make that difficult phone call. It's easy for you to get your house in order. It's easy to do the tedious task because you get that abundant energy that you've always wanted. And that's how your life gets a lot better. That's how you can get all those things that you need right now. That's how you can get that happy, that fulfilling relationships. That's how you can become a happy spouse that finds it easy to cook a meal at the end of the day. That's that person that doesn't need that much sleep anymore. Why? Well, I'm gonna reveal this one thing. I used to obsess with having a lot of sleep. I thought that it was this magic number, and that sleep was about the number of hours, and that I really needed to count it. So I was obsessed counting the hours, but I didn't know about fasting. I didn't know that the less you eat, especially in the evening, the less you need to sleep. Our bodies need a lot of sleep because our bellies seem to work all the time. If you eat 3 square meals a day, and if you are above your 30s, because I don't recommend morning fasting for people younger than 20. Yes, when you're 20, you need to still build your body. most of us, and you're in busy times because your brain is still developing, it is not the ideal age to fast. But it's possible. I recommend fasting after your 30s because then your whole metabolism is changed. You're matured. And once you're matured, your body can do a lot less than 3 meals. And when we do less than 3 meals, when we preserve the belly for that third heavy meal of the day, and I'm talking about dinner time, we will rest a lot better in the evening. It is a lot easier for our bodies to rest on an empty tummy. And that also explains that we can do a little less sleep. And that also explains that our body, it needs less rest when it is not that busy digesting food. Our intestines, our colon, are very, very busy if we eat 3 times a day. And also the other organs are affected. Other organs also get to work a lot harder when our bellies are constantly full. It gives a lot of pressure on the heart, for instance. The heart needs to beat faster, but also the lungs need to pump a little bit harder. Also the liver needs to get rid of a lot more things when we eat 3 times a day. So, to relieve our colon, our intestines from that pressure is to eat less and to fast regularly, a few times a month, once a week, one morning a week. It can start with very, very small steps. But in that sense, it is a very good habit, a ritual for your health. And as a Christian, I discovered that from that body that gets an upgrade, it helped me also get a clear mind. And it helped me see that God wanted to speak to me through my body that was a lot less empty. So as our bodies get empty, we get space, right? And that's also what I want for you. I want you to have clarity on your purpose. Yes, because what would life be if you would find your purpose? If you would do the work that you really love? If you would find your mission? A purpose is oftentimes connected to the mission. So, what would that mean for your life? Would that also give you more energy? And that's what fasting is about. It will make you become that highly energized person. And then, when you get to your best health, isn't that wealth? Isn't that wealth in its natural form? So, for today's topic, I want you to think about your best self and how your most healthy self would look like. So, answer me in the comments. Tell me, what would your healthy best life look like? And then I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I have the second live, and tomorrow we're going to talk about mastering your emotions. Yes, because fasting is also that powerful that it helps you master your emotions. All right, my friends. Thank you for watching. Bye. Be blessed. Let's see. Who's here? Nee joh, chips, dat is iets dat maakt je lichaam zo droog. Dan kan je beter een paar natte patatten nemen. Voor het zwocht. Ja, ook Merry Christmas alvast.